It starts quietly, not with a crisis or a sudden event, but with little things. You forget a name, you struggle with a jar lid, someone offers to help, and instead of feeling cared for, you feel small. You begin to notice how often you say, "It's okay, I've got it," even when you don't. Then comes the doubt. Am I in the way? Do they visit out of duty? Would life be easier for them if I wasn't here? These aren't dramatic thoughts. They whisper, slowly, repeatedly. Until one day, you start to believe them. You start to shrink. Not in body, but in presence. You stop offering advice, stop sharing stories, stop inviting yourself to things you used to love. And in that shrinking, you begin to disappear from your own life. But here's the truth no one told us. Aging doesn't mean fading. It doesn't mean you matter less. It doesn't mean your story is done. We feel this way because the world often tells us we should. TV ads show youth. Tech moves fast. Our kids get busier. Our bodies slow down. And somewhere in that noise, we hear a lie. You're no longer useful. But usefulness is not worth. You are not defined by your productivity. You are not measured by how many things you do for others. You are valuable simply because you exist, because you have lived, because you carry wisdom, memories, and a kind of strength only time can build. This video isn't here to tell you to just think positive. It's here to hold space for what's real. Yes, growing older is hard sometimes. Yes, it can be lonely. Yes, some days are heavier than others. But the pain you feel is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of how deeply you've loved, how much you've given, how much life you've lived. And the very fact that you're here, still breathing, still learning, still open to hope, means something powerful. You still matter. So if you've ever felt like a burden, you're not broken, you're human. And this is not the end. This is the part where healing begins. So now that we've named the feeling, this quiet shame, this heaviness of aging, the next question is, where do we begin? Because if we're honest, it's not easy to just stop feeling that way. The thoughts come quietly, but they settle deep. And when something lives in your mind long enough, it starts to feel like truth. So here's the first step. Not to erase the feeling, but to gently loosen its grip. Step 1, notice the voice. Pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Would you say those same words to someone you love? I'm just in the way. They'd be better off without me. I don't matter anymore. Now imagine saying that to a grandchild or an old friend. You wouldn't. So why say it to yourself? Start by noticing when those thoughts arise and challenge them gently. You don't have to fight them, just question them. Step 2, change the inner tone. You can't always control what thoughts come, but you can choose how you respond. Instead of, "I'm no longer useful," try, "I have experience no one else has." My worth isn't based on what I do, it's in who I am. It might feel strange at first, but like muscles, your thoughts need training. Kindness is a practice. Start small, repeat often. Step 3, do one small thing you enjoy. When shame takes over, we stop doing things that bring us joy. We say no before we're even invited. We assume we won't belong, won't matter, won't be seen. So today, just try one thing. Something light. Something that reminds you, I'm still me. It could be making a cup of tea and sitting by the window. It could be planting something, writing something, calling someone just to say hi. Joy doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's just a quiet, I still exist. Step 4, let someone in. This is often the hardest because shame makes us want to isolate, to hide how we feel, to say I'm fine, when we're not. But what if, just once, you shared how you really feel? Not with everyone, just with one person, a friend, a neighbor, a family member, even a letter, even if you don't send it. Because the moment you say it out loud, I feel invisible and I don't want to. Shame starts to lose its power. Healing doesn't happen in one day, but it starts with one decision: to show up, to be gentle, to believe that you're still worth loving. So if you're wondering where to begin here, with yourself, with one kind thought, and with the courage to say, I'm still here. There's a common belief that big changes are the only way to turn our lives around. But for those of us growing older, it's not the grand gestures that bring healing. It's the small, steady ones. The truth is, aging can feel like a slow fading. Your body changes, your calendar grows quieter, and the world around you seems to speed up while you're slowing down. In that space, it's easy to feel left behind, to think, what's the point? To believe that the best parts of life are over. But that belief, it's just a story, and you can change the story, one gentle chapter at a time. Let's talk about a few simple shifts, tiny choices that can bring life, clarity, and dignity back into your days. Shift 1, move, even just a little no. This isn't about lifting weights or running marathons. It's about reminding your body, I'm still here. Stretch in the morning, walk to the mailbox, stand in the sun for 5 minutes. Movement reconnects you with the present. It boosts your mood. It tells your bones, your heart, your breath, we still matter. If you can join a gentle exercise group, do it. If not, play music and sway in your kitchen. Let your body remember joy. Shift 2. Let the light in. Open the curtains. Sit near a window. Step outside, even for a few minutes a day. Sunlight does something magical. It reminds us that the world is still turning, still beautiful, still here. For us, many elders fall deeper into sadness simply because their world becomes too dark, too quiet, too still. Let in the light, literally and emotionally. Shift 3. Reclaim routine. It's easy to let go of structure when you feel like no one's waiting on you. But routine gives rhythm to the day, and rhythm creates meaning. Wake up at the same time. Make your bed. Prepare breakfast with intention, not as a chore, but as an act of care for yourself. Even watering plants, journaling, or listening to one song each morning can anchor your day in purpose. Shift 4. Feed your soul with something new. You don't need to learn a new language or master a new skill unless you want to, but your brain still craves engagement. Read something light, try a new recipe, watch a documentary, learn the names of flowers in your garden. Curiosity doesn't retire, and feeding it is an act of self-love. Shift 5. Connect, even briefly. Say hello to the neighbor you used to avoid. Text someone you haven't spoken to in a while. Call your grandchild, not to check up, but just to say, I was thinking of you. Human connection doesn't have to be deep or long. Sometimes, one moment of warmth is enough to melt a cold afternoon. Shift 6. Celebrate small wins. Did you walk today? Applaud that. Did you cook something for yourself? Beautiful. Did you get out of bed even though you didn't want to? That's strength. Aging doesn't erase achievement. It just changes what achievement looks like. Celebrate the small, and soon, your days will start to feel big again. These shifts aren't magic. They won't erase pain or turn back time, but they are powerful because they remind you, gently, consistently, that you are still living, still growing, still worthy of a good day. You don't need to wait for someone else to change your life. You can begin with one small shift. And from there, everything begins to feel possible again. One of the hardest things to do as we age is to be gentle with ourselves. We often carry years of expectations. We used to be providers, caregivers, workers, decision makers. We were the ones others leaned on. And now, in these quieter years, we sometimes feel unsure of who we are without those roles. But here's the truth. You were never only those roles. You were always more than what you did. And now, maybe for the first time, you get to meet yourself beyond the doing. But loving yourself at this stage of life requires something we're not always taught. The courage to forgive yourself for the mistakes, for the things you didn't do, for the dreams that changed or never came true. We all carry regrets. But regret is not a punishment. It's a reminder of how deeply we cared. Let it remind you, but don't let it define you. The permission to rest without guilt. You've spent years giving, working, worrying. You do not need to earn your right to rest. Make peace with stillness. Allow yourself slowness. And know, being still is not the same as being done. The practice of speaking kindly to yourself. The world may not always be kind, but your inner voice can be. Say to yourself every morning, I am still growing. I am allowed to take up space. I am worthy of care, even from myself. It might feel strange, but loving yourself is a skill, one worth practicing daily. The beauty of aging is that masks begin to fall. You don't have to pretend anymore. You don't have to rush. You don't need to impress. You've lived. You've endured. You are still here. And that's something to love. So today, look in the mirror and soften your gaze. Not because the lines are gone, but because they've earned their place. Say thank you to the body that's carried you through decades. Say thank you to the heart that's broken and healed again and again. And say to yourself gently, I don't need to become someone new to be worthy of love. I already am. Loving yourself at this age is not selfish, it's sacred. And it might be the most important love story of your life. One of the quietest things that happens with aging is disconnection, not always by choice. Sometimes slowly, life just pulls us away. Friends move, family gets busy, our roles change. We start saying, I don't want to bother them. We grow silent, not because we have nothing to say, but because we feel no one is listening. And over time, we begin to disconnect from others, from the world, even from ourselves. But here's the truth. You are not meant to disappear. You still belong here, and the world still needs your voice, your story, your presence. So how do we begin again? How do we reconnect after years of silence, solitude, or shame? Let's start gently. Step 1, reach out without expectation. Not every call needs to be deep. Not every visit has to be long. Connection is built in moments. Send a message, write a card, smile at the person you see every morning. You don't need to say the perfect words, just say something real. Step 2, invite life. In connection isn't only about people. It's about being part of something larger than yourself. Volunteer for a cause, help a neighbor, feed the birds, tend a garden. Let yourself feel useful, not for someone else's validation, but for your own aliveness. Step 3, say yes, more often. Sometimes we decline invitations because we fear we won't have the energy, or we think we won't be missed. But saying yes is an act of courage. Say yes to a walk, yes to coffee, yes to sitting outside with someone, even in silence. You don't need to entertain, you just need to show up. Step 4, reconnect with yourself. When we've been alone too long, we forget how to enjoy our own company. So, take yourself seriously. Write, reflect, laugh at your own jokes. Remember what made you feel alive before all the noise of life took over. Reconnect with the younger you, not to go back, but to honor how far you've come. Step 5. Let love. In maybe someone tried to help, and you pushed them away. Maybe you stopped calling because they didn't call first. But love isn't about keeping score. Sometimes the bravest thing is to open the door again. To say, I miss you. To say, can we talk? Because yes, people leave, but they also return. And sometimes they're just waiting for a sign. So give that sign. Rebuild that bridge. Let connection become the path back to joy. Because no matter how long it's been, it's never too late to come home to others and to yourself. And now we close. Not with a conclusion, but with an invitation. You've listened, you've felt, and maybe you've started to remember something you forgot, that your story isn't over, that you still matter, that life, no matter your age, still holds room for joy, for meaning, for healing. If anything we shared in this video resonated with you, even just one sentence, one feeling, one breath, please don't let it end here. Come back, rewatch it when you need it. Share it with someone who may be carrying the same quiet pain. Let this be more than content. Let it be a companion. Because growing older is not about fading. It's about becoming. And you, just as you are today, deserve to be seen, heard, and held. This video was created not just with words, but with heart, and we hope you felt that. If you believe more people need to hear these messages, please consider subscribing to this channel. Share it. Comment your story. Let others know they're not alone. Because together, we are building something rare. A space of dignity. A space of warmth. A space where no one ages alone. Until next time, take a deep breath. Place a hand over your heart. And remember, you're still here. You still matter, and we're so glad you are.